Hello, and welcome to our review of this week's episode of Doctor Who, the Zygon Invasion. And this week we're starting our first thoughts with you, Sean. So, what did you think of it?
It's alright. Aside from the oh so subtle social and political commentary, that was so subtle I almost missed it. That was subtle. It's alright. Twists are predictable. Yes, even the Clara one. Because otherwise those Zygon actions make no fucking sense. That's why I would let her go, but I liked it. It's alright. Mildly excited for next week. Done.
Why
Here
doesn't
comes...
my thoughts lead us into the ramble for the whole video, and yours are very succinct?
I'm a succinct kind of person.
I've noticed. Well, I really liked this week's. I really enjoyed it. It was tense throughout the whole way through, I thought. Managed to keep the tension up. Not enough that it was you felt tired, it was overstrained or anything. They managed to keep enough going for the whole thing. Some of the twists you could see coming. I agree with you on the political commentary thing was kind of. I'm not sure exactly.
Let's go through. Drone warfare, ISIS.
I wouldn't just say ISIS necessarily. It's the whole thing of terrorism and refugees.
Yeah.
But that's things that you could find with a lot of them.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
all TV shows.
yes, but some do it subtly and don't insult your intelligence.
I don't think this one was insulting your intelligence particularly.
If you can't do it subtly, you know.
Well, it was talking about the idea of refugees and the concept of terrorism, which I think is the difficult things to actually do subtly. I mean, how to do a subtle terrorism plot. The very nature of it is you can't. The refugee thing was a lot more subtle in a lot of ways because really it's not focusing on that. It's focusing on the idea of terrorism in home sight, which is a very prevalent issue, particularly at the moment and for all the world. But the way they're dealing with it, the idea of trying to go with answering it diplomatically rather than through anything else. Kudos to that. The idea of not being able to tell who's human, who's Zygon, threat of that works very well. Particularly with the idea of it subverting it even more for the idea of it's people that you know and people you care about. So it's not just the idea of strangers in the street you don't know, because as people generally, you're always suspicious of strangers, of people you don't know. It's the people you do know you still have to be suspicious of now. The idea of a police state, the whole sort of Soviet thing of you could be what's the word? Dobbed in is the only phrase that's come to mind at the minute. By your own children, that kind of thing. I liked it. It was centered the whole way through. I enjoyed all of it. All the performances were quite good. There are some of the twists you could see coming through.
Pretty much most of them.
Yeah, I had a feeling Clara was probably going to change it.
And the police officer was fucking obvious from the get-go.
Yes, that's obvious. I do not think that Kate Stewart is a Zygon.
Don't you?
It's the key rule. You don't see it. If you didn't see something, you don't know what happened. And also, it would be the whole thing of subverting it even more. Part of me is also going, I don't want them to kill Kate Stewart because she's a Stewart.
Yeah, right, she'll come back next season as a Cyberman.
I do like them how they picked up actually generally with this storyline. It was quite nice, sort of picking up the storyline that we left off from the 50th.
Mm.
And I'm finding it very interesting. I am excited to see what next week's is, particularly as we didn't actually have a next time trailer for it.
You do, it's online.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's online somewhere, I think.
I'll watch it in a bit. But normally they all show at the end of the episode still.
Mm.
First time they haven't done that actually, which I can kind of understand because obviously sometimes when you've got plots like that, you don't want to give too much away.
Mm.
Which actually they're quite good for the next time trailer. I mean, the next time trailer for the first two parts of the Dalek one, there was no footage of Clara or anything in that trailer, or Missy. Whilst we knew as fans and generally people who watch the shows, they can't be dead, they didn't show any footage to confirm it, which obviously still leaves the question partially open. The idea of, well, there's the possibility. It's very unlikely. Because equally, I'm very interested. I'm just generally interested to see where this one's going to go. I really enjoyed this week's.
Disappointing finale and a rushed conclusion. It's Doctor Who, one day Doctor Who, where does it normally go?
Yeah, but to be fair, the threat for last week's was only appearing in the last 5 minutes and then it closed in the last 2 minutes. There was no threat for the whole episode. This one, we've got threat from start to finish. So even if it's a sort of a rushed conclusion, I will feel it won't be as bad as last week's because we know what the threat is throughout the whole thing. It's the Zygons taking over and it's the idea of it's already been happening. which works quite well for that. Same thing with the Dalek one. The Dalek one, yes, it's always rushed at the end, but generally solutions are always rushed at the end for Doctor Who because it's very much you can't have.
It's pulled out of his arse usually.
Well, yeah, because equally you can't have a solution that lasts for half an hour when the episode's only 45 minutes long because you're going, well, that's not building up the tension then. All the episodes that we've...
There is a good way to do that and there is a bad way to do that.
Very true.
How a conclusion come out. It's like a plot twist. There's a good way to do a plot twist and there is a bad way to do a plot twist.
Completely agree. Though I think actually for the most part, all the episodes we've liked this season, which have been most of them so far.
Last week's Tea Party.
It's the minority we haven't liked are ones that have built the tension for a while and it's been a good sort of how to save the day. The Dalek one, we had tension all the way through, was surrounded by Daleks and we're interested to see where the story's going. The week following it, with the ghosts, bit of a letdown on the second half, but that's more just because of how the story went, not so much in terms of the delivery of it. Because we all saw the twists that were coming through, but again, it wasn't one that we thought, oh, well, I feel cheated now, because it's exactly what I was expecting. We all expected it, so it works within our expectations still. And the tension was there, partially. It dropped a little bit just because of the way they did that episode, because they had two storylines that are the same one, but running at different time streams, running at the same time there. It's a bit jarring. And then the following one, obviously, was the girl who died and the woman who lived, which you had. We thought the first one was all right. Wasn't great.
Dull, I think is the word.
Dull, but
but not offensive.
No. Last week's was a bit of a letdown just because of it all just felt a bit rushed towards the end, generally as a story. Which is very contrasting to some people I've spoken to during the week who loved last week.
I've seen these last week's, but they're people who are wrong. Fundamentally.
Not doing that. Everyone is entitled to their opinions.
Just mine's right.
Stop it. I will not have anyone talk like that. No, but this one I really enjoyed this week's. I quite liked the political angle on it. I like political thrillers and that kind of thing. It wasn't so obvious in your face of here's the point we're making. It's not making anything specific though. It's dealing with themes, not so much about the idea of a specific issue, as in Star Trek, if I can use an example there.
Oh, pick one. There's full of them.
Exactly my point. But the point is they dealt with themes again and the idea of thematics. They didn't deal with it like a specific event that you're trying to make a hammer home the point. Because equally they are showing a bit of both sides of the situation. There's an episode, some point, I think it's in the Next Generation, to do with the Borg. That's all to do with Chernobyl. Is the equivalent, and you can see it. It's blatant. This one's not dealing with a particular issue at the moment in terms of a major event or anything like that. It's dealing with the basic theme of terror and fear in plain sight, the police state, all that kind of thing. But it's not dealing with it in a specific way at the moment because they're not focusing on those areas. They're focusing on Zygons a lot more. And that kind of works for me. They're not working on the idea of, oh, the police state is bad or anything like that. They are focusing a lot more on the alien side of it. And yes, they are there. Of course they're there. But if they weren't there, we pick up on it. We're smart. We know they're there. We've known all the reviews in that because even we had a chat earlier this morning about this is going to be we knew this was going to be one of the best and one of the most political episodes ever. You rolled your eyes then.
I'm still rolling my eyes now.
I know.
I'm actually seeing it at the back of my head currently. But that's me and most plots these days because it's fucking atrocisly written.
There's a combination of the quality of the writing, but equally we know
that's
where.
Why I give Star Trek. Star Trek generally, I think there are a few renowned episodes of Star Trek that are moronically written. Generally, is a lot more intelligent ways. This is fundamentally a family show. This is not going to be
Star Trek's
in-depth political thoughts on drone strikes or whatever.
No, it couldn't be.
No, it's a family show. It's 45 minutes.
But it is quite good at covering, broadly speaking, the themes of what's going on at the moment, which is quite good in that way. Because that's what shows like this are capable of. They're capable of sort of opening the door to the conversation, not taking you in the door necessarily. I mean, it's your choice if you want to go there or not. But it's good at kind of saying, here's an issue, we can sort of look at it. Not necessarily answer it in any specific ways. I quite liked it. I don't really have any negative to say with the episode particularly. My mum, do you want mum thoughts?
Oh yeah, mum thoughts.
She thought it was very good this week. She did enjoy it. She did see the Clara thing coming a lot. She actually saw it differently, though. It's not because of why they'd let her go.
Well, I was sitting there thinking either there's two ways: either she's a Zygon or this is moronically written, and with Doctor Who, both of those are capable. But if we assume it's relatively intelligently written, she's obviously a Zygon. Otherwise, why would they let her go? So what was your mum's thoughts on it? What different did she see?
It was when she put her hair up at the very beginning after that bit, in order to provide the difference between the two Claras.
Yeah.
My mum's quite intelligent when she wants to be.
There's a compliment in there somewhere.
Somewhere, it's a backhanded one. She'll never listen to this. I can say what I like.
That's his mum. That's hot.
There's one bit she didn't like.
Oh yeah, what was it?
And she said she very.
Was it Clara's voicemail message? Because that annoyed me after a while.
No, it wasn't that. It was the guitar.
Really? Yeah.
Mum's getting annoyed by the guitar.
Yeah, it is being overused.
I do feel it's being overused, and I like that's the thing they're bringing up every now and again because he is a good guitarist.
Yeah, people can play guitar. Great, I got that in the first episode.
We got it in the first episode, and to mention it a couple of times, it worked with the Beethoven one as well. The whole thing of Beethoven's Fifth, it works, which is quite nice. But I'm beginning to get a bit bored of it.
Yeah,
not just bored. It's not bored so much. It's kind of all right. It's the music. It's just grating a little bit.
Mm.
It's not so much I'm getting bored. It's more I don't need it.
I get it.
Yeah, you've got the point. It's the Doctor. Stop. It's a very different take on the Doctor, though, which I'm quite enjoying still.
Mm.
He's still sort of, I don't know who he is. I'm still very interested by. We know Clara was a Zygon for most of this episode.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But a part of me was also going the whole bit when she said, when she grabbed the gun and says, I'm kind of enjoying this.
Mm.
Part of me was going, I could still see Clara saying that, though.
Yeah.
Even the non-Zygon one, which a part of me is going, that's interesting. Because I still think Clara is going on a dark path. And I don't know where it's going to lead her. We know eventually she's going to leave the Doctor.
Series.
At the end of the series, it's going to lead us to there, but we don't know how it's going to end. We've got our theories running for that, which will be interesting for it. Because my mind just suddenly jumped back to another moment. Because Clara wasn't picked out as random. She wasn't just this random person that they found as a companion for the Doctor. She was chosen by someone, and that person was Missy.
Mm-hmm.
Which obviously then creates the idea of, not so much as they're a long game, but the idea of Missy knew who she was picking. Because she even says that at one point. Says, Clara, didn't I pick well?
Mm.
And a part of me is thinking, there's something that's going to happen there somewhere down the line. I don't know what it is, but a part of me is thinking that... We had the hybrid prophecy come up again, though, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Which worked. Didn't feel the shoehorned as the last time.
Whenever I hear the word hybrid, I think of StarCraft. That's probably me just a yearn for November 10th.
Is it? It won't be long.
Damn it. Well,
you've got less than 2 weeks.
Fallout or Legacy of the Void, whichever one downloads first. Well, Fallout's going to last me for fucking ages, if it works. This is Bethesda games, give it a week or so to actually work. But yeah, that's me and hybrids, I just think of StarCraft. That wasn't, Dan, or do you want to go off on another small detail you picked out?
Well, I generally liked this episode. I didn't have any problems with it. I'm very excited to see next week, so I'm hoping, again, as the thing is with a two-parter.
It doesn't bolt up.
Yeah.
Like every Doctor Who two-parter so far, in some way has.
No, they haven't. No, because the first one we agreed didn't.
It will be rushed. I guarantee it.
They're all rushed, but again, it's 45 minutes. This one actually didn't feel like 45 minutes. It felt longer but shorter at the same time.
It was 5:15 to 5 past. I believe it's actually technically 50 minutes long.
Yeah, I know, but it felt...
So it was longer, that's why it felt longer.
Yeah, but in terms of... The story went by very quickly as well, though. It didn't feel like this is 45. It didn't feel like I'm sitting down, I'm here for 45 minutes. I sat down and thought, the story's gone by very quickly, but it feels like they've got a lot of content still in there, but it's not been like shoehorned. It didn't feel like it was too much or too little. It was... I generally really like this episode. This might be my favourite of the series so far. Certainly of the recent weeks. That's just because the last 2 weeks...
The last two were so fucking atrocious. It's not hard.
True, but it has picked up now again.
Well, yeah, we're now past the halfway point, aren't we?
Yeah, so
it's ramping up for the...
Yeah, because after this one, it's the Mark Gig. I think the next ones aren't two-parters, technically.
Oh, thank God. I know.
Well, I've read it because of the 12 episodes, 10 are two-parters, but I don't know, therefore, which two are considering not to be two-parters.
Mm.
I'm assuming, because we've had to be continued for all of these ones so far,
Yeah.
the ones before the finale aren't two-parters. Oh, and something to do with the finales, actually, I remember just reading, which is the Hellbent Heaven Sent ones.
Yeah.
Their penultimate episode,
Mm.
there's no guest actors and there's no companion. It's just the Doctor.
Interesting.
I think he directed it as well, actually.
Wow.
I don't know that bit for certain, but I do know it's the only person we'll get for the entire episode will be the Doctor,
Interesting.
which is a first, and that'll be very interesting to see.
Mm.
So I'm generally you remember how I was feeling after the end of last week's episode, don't you?
Yeah, I just put up with the complaining for like, God knows how long. Moaning, just
You
sad thoughts,
you so make it sound like you hate me.
predicting the future. Oh, I do. Don't worry. But don't worry. I don't take it offensively. I hate everyone, so don't take it personally. I hate
You just
everyone.
hate me less than everyone else.
Toleration, we'll go with.
Yes, you tolerate me. No, but I'm feeling a lot more
Yes.
buoyed up actually after this week's.
Mm.
This week's is actually it was a good episode and I enjoyed it, which has made me a lot happier. So I'm looking forward to what they do with next week's. I've not seen the trailer for it, so we can't talk about it.
Fine.
Part of me doesn't want to watch it
If
actually
you want
because
to, it's on my Doctor Who Twitter thing. One of the many
Okay.
posts. They always post like 1,500 tweets after an episode.
that's because they can talk about it.
No, it's just like, look at this picture. Look at this picture. I'm like, I get it. All right.
Yeah, but you hate Twitter anyway.
And then Facebook pages. Oh my God. They're like, maybe once after an episode, fine, but all fucking week from Wednesday onwards, non-stop. Ugh. The amount of times I saw Maisie Williams' face in the last 2 weeks makes me actually want to punch someone, whoever owns a Twitter account.
Yeah, I'm not on. I'm very rarely on Twitter.
So I'm scrolling through various things. Like, Doctor Who, Doctor Who. That's 15 things at Doctor Who. Oh my God. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, let's see, go back. Hold on, I forgot the episode. 8. Since the end of the episode, I think. If I work it out roughly a bit more. When's that one done? No, that one's fine. 8. All saying the same thing. Look, that's good. I get it. Social media rant. Social media rant. That's me done. Oh, one new tweet. No, it wasn't. Doctor Who, you're lucky. 8, yeah. We get it. I know people these days have short attention spans, but Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, someone's typing ferociously. Are we done? Anything else you want to talk about before I go on a full-on rant about Twitter?
No, I think we can save your Twitter rant for afterwards. The other people don't need to hear that. Again, I like the episode. I'm looking forward to next week's. So
Wasn't as offensive as last week's. Was interesting. Had some good tension in it. Not quite as good in my mind tension as in the Ghost one.
No, the Ghost one. Well, the Ghost one's a very different kind of tension with that because what you've got there. Because the Ghost one was you're in a trapped location.
I probably prefer that more than.
Well, that always builds up more tension generally. This one was more kind of open world. There's more things at threat, which works in that way because I like both. I think both work because they're different kinds of tension. So I think that's our conclusion for this week. So join us next week for the Zygon inversion.